When you write JavaScript, you'll be using strings all the time. Strings are just pieces of text, sequences, or strings of characters. And as before, I'm here using document.write when I want to write a string. That's I want to write some text into the document or web page that I'm working on. Document.write is a fairly basic, simple way of writing text into a page, but it'll do for now. Later on in the course, I look at more subtle and more versatile ways of manipulating text or strings in documents. But here I want to look at the basics of string handling. Now, the first thing you need to know is that you can write strings in two ways. You can either put a string between double quotes, as in this line here, or between single quotes, as in this line here. Now, most of the time, it doesn't really matter which one you use. But there are some circumstances in which one set of string delimiters, double quotes or single quotes, is better than the other. And the obvious example is if you want to include the delimiter character in the string itself. So look at the first line here. I've got two words in this line, you've and its, that use a single quote character. Now consider what would happen if I put string delimiters that use single quotes themselves. Well, now you can see the editor, in fact, gives me a clue here that something funny has happened because it shows the text here in a different color from the string. I've set up string coloring in this editor, Komodo Edit, to be blue. So why is this text here being shown in black? Well, it's because I've started my string with a single quote character, and the next single quote character that the JavaScript comes across, it takes to be the end of the string. And similarly, it then comes across this single quote character, it thinks to itself, oh, I've got another string beginning, and again it thinks it's ended the string at the end of the text delimited by the single quote characters. So that's pretty confusing to JavaScript, and it won't have the effect that I intended. So for simplicity, it's much better if when I want to display a single quote character, I use it in a double quoted string, and that doesn't cause any confusion. Similarly, in this string, I've delimited the string by single quote characters, and that lets me display double quoted characters in the string itself. But what happens if I want to put both single quotes and double quotes in the same string? Which string delimiters do I use? It doesn't really matter, but there's a secret for dealing with this kind of problem. Now here I've got a single quoted string, so I can put the double quotes on bitwise courses without any problem. But that means that if I put a single quote in the string, I'm going to have the problem that I ran into when I tried it earlier, when I showed you the problem of trying to put you've and its in a single quoted string. So how can I deal with that? Well, I can escape the character. To escape a character, I put in this slash character before the character I want displayed. Then JavaScript treats the next character as an ordinary character. It doesn't use it as a string delimiter. And that lets me display a single quote character, in this case, in a single quoted string. But what happens if I now decide I want to display the slash character itself? Well, here's an example. In this string, I want to display a Windows-style directory with the slash markers embedded to show the subdirectories branching off the other directories. So I want to display c:/myfiles/documents. And the secret for embedding a slash in a string is to put another slash in front of it. So that escapes, the first slash escapes the second slash. So the second slash is now displayed as normal, just as in a single quoted string, the single quote character was displayed as normal when preceded by the slash character. And these final two examples here show how I can use document.write with a string to create some HTML. That's some tags that will display in the page when loaded. So here I've got a link, an href, that's a hyperlink, and I put the link text as a string. Then I put the text that's displayed after the tag that ends here, and I finish off with the closing tag. In the next example, I create a button. Now here I've got a double quoted string, but I've put button as a single quoted string, and then I've got an on-click event handler, that is a function name that executes when the button is clicked, and that needs to be inserted as a string as well, where it's a single quoted string in a double quoted outer string, and so that causes no problems. And finally, I've got the value, the text that's displayed on a button, also as a single quoted string. So here I've embedded single quoted strings in a double quoted string in order to get that effect. And notice I've, of course, had to declare the function that I've called on click, that's the say hello function. I've put that in a separate script element. In your pages, you can have more than one script element. If you want to write into a document, as I'm doing here, you need to put the script into the body, between the body tags. You can see the pair of body tags here. If you're not writing directly into the document with JavaScript, you can put the script in the head tag, and that's what I've done up here. Well, that's the theory. Let's see this in action. Let me load this up into a web page. And you can see it's written the text that I've specified. So I just move the JavaScript up so you can see what's going on here. So this first line simply writes the text, and it's got the embedded single quote characters. The next line has the embedded double quote characters. Then the line after that, that's the one that I've used the escape character, the escaped single quote character. I've got a mix of single and double quote characters. The next line I've had to escape the slash character, and you can see only single slashes are displayed when I display the web page. Then I've got the hyperlink. If I click that, it would take me to the home page because it's an actual working hyperlink. And finally, I've created a button. I've created the button by writing an HTML tag as a string by document write. And when I click it, it should execute the function because that's what I've specified in the single quoted string. So let's try that out. And that function just pops up this alert dialog. And that's what I've used in the script up here. So that's a first very simple example of how to use some strings in JavaScript to display text and create workable tags that are written into your HTML document.